We open in a Detroit courtroom where Roman Brown insists he is not a driver, but a living man traveling freely. From the very start, the clash between legal reality and his unusual sovereign citizen arguments sets the tone for a tense trial. This isn't just about traffic violations, it's about whether the law itself can cut through a web of pseudo-legal claims.
Corporal, is there any other questions that I haven't asked you today that about your investigation here today?
No.
Okay. People would rest, Your Honor.
Okay. Would the defendant like to cross-examine Corporal Spadell?
Excuse me. Would you like to cross-examine? Right there.
Yes. For the record, I am not a person.
When asked to cross-examine the officer, Brown stalls, saying, "I am not a person." The judge presses him, reminding him this is a trial, not a forum for philosophical debates. Already, the court is growing weary of his attempts to dodge basic questions.
Mr. Brown, do you have any questions for for Corporal?
Yes. He said the person, I am not a person, so I'm trying to figure out.
Do you have a question for for Corporal Spadell? Corporal Spadell, I'm sorry, Corporal.
That's what the officer now.
Do you have a question for the corporal?
No, I don't have a question.
Do you have any questions for Corporal?
Not for court. I have a question for
You have a question for whom?
the court.
Okay, you don't actually get to ask the court anything unless you have a motion that you'd like to file. The court doesn't really take up any questions at this point. We're in trial. So at this point, if you would like to cross-examine the witness, you may do so now.
No, I don't have any questions for the officer.
Okay, so the witness is free to step down. Do you have any witnesses? I'm sorry, any further witnesses, Mr. Geringer?
People have no further witnesses and rest their case.
Will the defendant like to call any witnesses?
Speak for myself.
You would like to take the stand as a witness?
Brown takes the stand himself, declaring he's a non-citizen national and not subject to Michigan law. His testimony quickly shifts from fact to ideology, claiming driver's licenses are contracts he never agreed to. The courtroom is left in disbelief. How far will he push this defense?
Yes.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you give will be the truth and the entire truth?
Yes.
Please state and spell your name for the record.
For the record, my name is Roman Brown. Living man. You said spell it.
Please spell it, yes.
Capital R, lowercase O, M, lowercase m, lowercase n, lowercase n, capital B, lowercase r, lowercase o, lowercase w, lowercase n.
Okay. And Mr. Brown, I'm going to have you give your testimony from the podium as you are representing yourself, and you are now the witness as well as the acting on your own behalf as your own attorney. So you may proceed.
Yes. So I was traveling I'm a non-citizen national for the record. I am not a United States citizen. I am not a resident in the state. I live in the United States of America. But I was traveling I didn't commit any crimes. The officer asked me for documentation. I gave him the documentations that were valid. The driver's license, he unlawfully detained me. I did not consent to any searches or seizures. He unlawfully violated my rights by going through my private property. He in the documents that he brought up were like you just stated, they were not valid and they were canceled. So like I stated before, I was traveling. I'm not a driver.
As he rambles about canceled documents and reserved rights, the prosecutor remains silent. No need to argue when the defendant's own words undermine his credibility. The gap between legal evidence and Brown's sovereign theories grows wider by the minute.
I reserve all of my rights.
Mr. Garinger, do you have any questions for this witness?
No questions, Your Honor.
I reserve all of my rights under UCC 1-308.
I'm sorry, UCC, I need to be able to hear you clearly. You reserve all of your rights under
UCC 1-308.
okay.
I'm not set this offer. I do not consent to any proceedings. I'm not a United States citizen.
Mr. Brown, I'm gonna stop you right now. You can have a seat. Any closing arguments?
Yeah, just briefly, just very briefly, Your Honor. Thank you.
The prosecution's closing is sharp and precise. Expired plate, no license, refusal to obey lawful orders. The facts are simple. The violation's clear. Against that backdrop, Brown's argument that he was merely traveling seems increasingly hollow.
Your Honor, we heard testimony today from Corporal Spidell, an officer with Detroit Police Department for approximately 25 years, who has had extensive training in traffic enforcement and conducted over 8,000 traffic stops, that he was on duty on May 12, 2023 at approximately 2 p.m. near the intersection of Livernois and Warren in the city of Detroit, County of Wayne. While he was there conducting traffic enforcement, he spotted a vehicle while he was in the gas station that had expired tags. He was able to see that while he was in his squad car. Consequently, we heard testimony that Corporal Spidell then proceeded to do a traffic stop, pull that vehicle over, and conduct his stop and investigation. When Corporal Spidell went over to that vehicle, we saw on Corporal Spidell's body camera that he asked the driver of that vehicle to produce a copy of their insurance, registration, and a license, a Michigan license. The driver was unable to do so and refused to exit the vehicle when Corporal Spidell instructed them to do so on his first instruction. Corporal Spidell also instructed the driver to place their keys on top of the vehicle for safety. The driver of the vehicle, we heard testimony from Corporal Spidell that the driver of the vehicle did not do that, disobeying the lawful order of Officer Spidell. Your Honor, throughout this whole investigation, Corporal Spidell did eventually find a Michigan driver's license on the defendant's person, which he ran through the Secretary of State. We saw that in the body camera, as well as through the Secretary of State exhibit that the people admitted. However, by the defendant's own admission, he canceled his own license. He did not have a valid license on May 12, 2023. He was not able to produce one, nor did he have a valid title, nor was he able to produce one. Your Honor, I believe you have a copy of the MCL code, so I won't go through reciting them all. But it is required in the state of Michigan that if you are on the roadways, that you must have a valid driver's license. It's also required that you're in your motor vehicle, you must have a valid title to that vehicle and registration. Finally, if you're given a lawful order from a police officer, you must obey those commands if they're a lawful order. The fact of the matter is that the defendant, Mr. Roman Brown, did not produce those things when he was stopped on May 12th, and he refused to comply with the lawful orders given by Corporal Spidel. Therefore, the people would ask that this honorable court find the defendant guilty on all 3 counts. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Closing arguments from Mr. Brown.
Approach the.
Yes, you may.
Brown pushes back, insisting officers had no right to stop him. He repeats that traveling is not driving, as if changing the word changes the law. The judge listens patiently, but her growing frustration is impossible to ignore.
He gave me a ticket for speeding, clearly on video, it just showed that he said that he put me up for.
We don't have a speeding ticket on the record for today.
For a lawful order to be submitted, it had to be a crime being committed. There was no crime being committed. Like I stated before, I was traveling in my automobile, my private conveyance. I was not driving. I am not a driver or an employee like Uber or someone that's transporting goods or property. I'm not a driver. I was traveling from point A to point B. My automobile I had an issue with my automobile. It was stored. I was taking it to get it serviced. I was traveling there. I didn't commit any crime now. Well, like I stated, a lawful order for it to be a lawful order, it has to be a crime present. And I didn't commit any crimes. I did everything that he requested. I gave him all of the documents that were legit on my behalf. He went in my and unlawfully violated my rights by going into my private my private property and getting any information and documents that he did get. And I didn't present those because they weren't valid. It wasn't they were canceled. So I don't want a contract. I do not consent to any contract. I don't want a contract. I have the right to travel free. I'm a non-citizen national. I am not a United States citizen. I am not a resident. I do not reside in any fictitious address in the United States. I'm a national for the United States of America Republic. I have the right to travel. And for the record, I need you to recite your oath of office to uphold the Constitution. I haven't did anything wrong. I'm getting pulled over and took out of my car. That's like kidnapping. I wasn't. This is crazy. This is.
Are you done?
This is Lisa Precinct. Purposely.
I'm sorry, can you speak that?
Lisa Precinct.
At one point, Brown pulls out dense references to the UCC, demanding judicial notice of obscure rules. The judge firmly cuts him off. This is a criminal trial, not a contract dispute. His strategy is collapsing in real time.
I don't know that I understood that.
This court is operating as a Nisi Precinct.
What is that?
Nisi Precinct.
Don't repeat the words. Tell me what that means.
Okay. This is a notice of Nisi Previous, a demand for judicial notice of Rule Nacy within a Rule Nacy's court. Notice is hereby given on August 6th of 2024 at 8:30 a.m. or soon there are the matters can be held in courtroom of the above entitled court. Remove the court to take judicial notice of the following. This is a demand for judicial notice of Rule Nisi within a Nisi court. This court, by being part of the Nisi precinct court system, must follow Rule Nacy, which is a quote, a Rule Nacy which all becomes operated in final unless caused by shown against it. Since the court can require compel performance which is only allowed in the court, which is enforced some type of contract. It is Hornwood law that all contracts are either equitable or admissible for enforcement purposes. Based upon the foregoing, this court must take judicial notice that this court is merely enforcing some type of contract that will allow Rule Nacy to apply. Therefore, the court should dismiss this matter and the prosecutor does not produce, if the prosecutor does not produce contact on proof with omission, evidence that the accused was involved in a actual being regulated with admissible evidence that invoked the authority of the court. Hearsay or presumption will not be permitted since this is a criminal trial which the accused justly demands due process secured to him by the state constitution.
Okay. All right, you may be seated. So the court has heard testimony from both the corporal officer, Corporal Spadell, who made the stop.
The judge recaps expired registration, no valid license, and defiance of lawful orders. Evidence from the officer and body cam leave no doubt. She rules Brown guilty on all 3 counts. The sovereign citizen defense has failed completely.
On May 11th, 2023, the court has also heard testimony from the defendant, Mr. Roman Brown. As it relates, I guess I will start with, one moment. It's Roman Levon Brown. I wanted to make sure I have his full name for the record. Roman Levon Brown. The court has heard testimony that Corporal made the stop on 5/11 or May 11, 2023 in the city of Detroit in the county of Wayne. Corporal Spadell identified Mr. Roman Levon Brown as the defendant sitting in the courtroom in the blue blazer. Corporal, as well as the evidence provided by the people, showed in the video cam that the corporal made the stop based on a expiration of a plate. The color initially caught his attention, indicating that the plate had been expired, giving him probable cause to pull over the black Chevy. He later verified in the lien system that the vehicle had not been registered since 2022. Again, the stop was made 5/11 or May 11th, 2023. The corporal then gave testimony that, as well as seen in the dash cam video, that the defendant was given several instructions to turn off the ignition or to take the key out of the ignition on numerous occasions. The defendant did not comply with the request from the officer to take the key out of the ignition. At one point in the video, the corporal asked that the defendant place the key on the roof of the vehicle. The defendant did not comply with the request of the corporal. Corporal gave instructions for the defendant to step out of his vehicle. The defendant did not comply initially, did not comply with the instructions of the corporal. Corporal also has testified that the defendant, as well as seen in the video, that the defendant did not provide a valid driver's license when asked to do so. The defendant did in fact give some form of paper that the court does not have in evidence today. The defendant has not submitted that in evidence today as to what that paper or what those documents were. However, it was not a Michigan driver's license. Corporal then ran, or at some point in the video, was able to obtain the actual driver's license card off of the defendant's person, and later was later learned that the defendant did not have a valid driver's license in the state of Michigan because the defendant canceled his driver's license. Defendant's own admission stated that he canceled.
Before sentencing, Brown insists again he was traveling and had no contract with the state. The judge counters firmly. Statutes are laws, and if you want to operate on Michigan roads, you need a license. No semantics can save him now.
His driver's license due to not wanting to have a contract with the state of Michigan. Therefore, the court is going to find the defendant guilty on all three charges, guilty of unregistered, untitled vehicle, which the defendant did not provide a registration at the time of the stop. Lien system verified by Corporal Spadell that the vehicle had not been registered since 2022. Guilty on the count of driving while licensed improper. The Corporal Spadell confirmed, and the court has confirmed, that the driver's license of the defendant is still canceled as of today. And guilty on disregarding the officer's signal or lawful commands of an officer. The officer made lawful commands, although it was not as a result of an arrest at that point in time. The defendant had not been placed under arrest at that time. However, it was a lawful command. The defendant has argued that the commands of the officer were not lawful because he had not violated any of the laws and that he had not done anything wrong. Simply to state that you have not done anything wrong does not mean that you have not done anything wrong. Simply to state that you have not violated a law does not mean that your actions or through your actions that you have not violated the laws. In this state, you are required, although you use the word travel, you can use whatever word you'd like to use in this situation. If you are operating a motor vehicle in the state of Michigan, you must have the vehicle registered every year. You must have a valid driver's license as well as insurance in order to operate a motor vehicle in the state of Michigan. I believe that the defendant did provide valid car insurance through Cure, and I don't know that that was brought up on the record, but I did see in the video that there was a Cure insurance certificate provided at the time of the stop. However, there was no indication or no evidence provided that there was a registration or a valid driver's license provided. Again, simply stating a uniform commercial code that explains your acceptance of performance. You accept the performance, or you accept the expectations of your performance based on driving in the state of Michigan. If you decide that you are going to avail yourself of the liberties and the privileges of driving in the state of Michigan, you are expected to have a driver's license and registration in this state. If you didn't, or a valid driver's license in a state that could be verified. And that was not done. Again, the defendant is guilty on all 3 counts. And before we move to sentencing, is there anything that the people would like to state on the record?
The people would leave sentencing in this court's discretion, no objection for immediate sentencing, Your Honor.
Would the defendant like to speak on his behalf regarding sentencing?
Yes. Like I stated before, I was not driving, I was traveling, and
Is this related to sentencing? We've already
so-
determined that tomato, Mr. Brown, regardless of whether or not you were driving, traveling, whatever word you want to use, I've already stated on the record that to operate a motor vehicle in the state of Michigan requires a driver's license. Do you have anything you'd like to state on your behalf before I sentence you, sir? I'm sorry?
I don't recognize the authority. I have not.
It's fine. I do. I recognize this authority. So, and I am I'm probably the only person that matters right now in terms of recognizing the authority.
The judge praises the officer's restraint during the stop, reminding Brown how icily things could have turned deadly. She warns him that his shenanigans wasted law enforcement time while real crimes went unaddressed. Her tone grows sharper, underscoring the seriousness of his actions.
Of the state and the laws that have been broken by you in this state.
I have a question. So, I didn't know there was a law. There was a law. I thought that was a statute or status,
Again, tomato, it's a statute. It's a statute.
So it's not a law.
It's a law. It's under the Michigan compliant laws, and I am not getting ready to debate this issue with you. You can take that up on appeal because you will have plenty of time to write an appeal. Are you ready for sentencing? I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I said, yes, ma'am.
Okay, have a seat. So it is quite disappointing to me that not only Corporal Spadell had to spend quite some time with the defendant in this matter on a driving while licensed suspended, driving while unlicensed, I'm sorry, driving while licensed improper, I should say, and a registration. The time and resources that it took for this incident, I can only imagine how many laws were actually being violated in the state by other people. How many people were going unprotected, or how many crimes, serious crimes, were being committed at the time that six officers to respond to a no registration or unregistered untitled vehicle and a driving while licensed improper. 6 officers. I would definitely like to remind Mr. Brown, although not right, and it's never, ever right for an officer to use force. And I would like to commend the officers who were there on that date and time, because they were very patient with you, very respectful to you. No one ever lost their patience. No one ever lost their cool. But have you seen the video where the young lady lost her life? She was shot in the face by an officer for actually following the commands of an officer. Yet you are playing games with your life. And again, would like to commend the Detroit Police Department for responding with the patience and with the professionalism that they responded to in this incident. As a state legislator, I worked on legislation that would hold police officers accountable for using excessive force in this state. However, after meeting with DPOA and some of the officers in Detroit, I learned that they already have a handbook, and most of the things that were being asked of the officers across the state of Michigan were already being used and trained properly in the state, or at least in the city of Detroit Police Department, as evidenced by this entire video. Again, the patience that they had to have with you and your shenanigans on that date took a lot of professionalism.
Brown pleads for compassion, citing his children. He admits he was influenced by others into believing these pseudo-legal ideas. It's a moment of rare vulnerability, but the damage is done. The violations are undeniable.
And I'm glad that they handled it in that way and not in the way that we see in videos across the country, because this could have ended totally different for you, Mr. Brown. Completely different outcome had they not had the professionalism and training that they've had to deal with shenanigans, because that's exactly what this was today, as well as the day of your stop. Shenanigan. You are not allowed to operate, travel. You are not to be behind the wheel of a vehicle, whether you think it's driving or traveling. I don't care. You are not to operate a motor vehicle in this state without a driver's license. The court is now going to sentence Mr. Brown to 30 days in the Wayne County Jail for each incident to run concurrently. Mr. Brown, you can take it up. You have a right to appeal.
Ma'am, can I say one thing, ma'am?
No,
I'm
no,
going
sir.
to jail.
No, sir. No, sir.
Why though, ma'am? Here. 90 days? Ma'am, I didn't, please, ma'am, can you please,
I need my car
ma'am?
key.
Please,
In
ma'am.
the house, sir.
Oh my God. Ma'am, I didn't do anything, ma'am. I apologize. Please, ma'am, have compassion. I have children. My son is please, ma'am.
Can you get my car keys?
Did you consider your children when you were out playing games with the police officers, like literally playing games with your life?
I was doing things right, ma'am.
Did you consider your children when you were literally playing games with your life with 6 officers surrounding you and you wanted to continue to play games with them? Did you consider your kids on that day?
I was trying to reserve my rights, ma'am. I did not know that I was going to go to jail for something. I did nothing wrong, ma'am.
Each offense holds up to 93 days in the county jail. Every one of the offenses that you committed is punishable up to 93 days in the county jail. You will serve the sentence concurrently.
I can't do anything, ma'am, please. I did nothing. I apologize. I'm so sorry.
Again, you have the right to appeal.
How do I appeal? I don't know what to do, ma'am. I have kids. I don't know what to do. I'm sorry, officer. I apologize, sir. I didn't know. I did not know. I thought I was doing the right thing, ma'am. I thought I did not know. I did not do anything. I did not know, ma'am. please have compassion for me. I did not know. I thought that I was doing everything right. I did not know. I would never, ever would have did. I had.
What is it
Man,
that you thought you were doing right?
thought I was doing everything. To be honest with you, man, I thought I've been reading, I've been studying on I was a national. I did not know that I was doing anything wrong, man. I apologize. Is there anything that cause I did not know. I did not know. I really thought I was doing things right. I would never, I was being cool too. I thought he was violating me. I didn't know that I was doing anything wrong. Like I stated before, I was not.
Did you say that you were being influenced by others?
I definitely was influenced. I thought, like I said, I've been studying and reading up and listening to stuff, and I thought that.
I don't know what type of degree you have, or if you have one as of yet, but in order for you to know the laws in this state, in order for you to be in this state, then perhaps you should go to law school so that you can study the laws of the land.
The judge hands down the sentence, 30 days in jail. Brown begs for mercy, but she reminds him every one of his offenses carries up to 93 days. She already reduced it. His cries echo as bailiffs prepare to escort him out.
Of this state, of this country, because what you're doing is the interference and the disturbance that you caused on that date. I can't imagine how many people needed real assistance on that date, and you interfered.
I just thought I was doing everything right.
Being available. Am I talking? Are you talking while I'm talking?
No, ma'am.
Interfere with officers being available to respond to real concerns for our citizens in the city of Detroit? With your shenanigans?
I apologize. I did not know. I
will amend your sentence to 30 days. That is, you have 21 days to file an appeal. Have a good day, sir.
So what I got one more question, ma'am, please. So I can't pay anything or anything, or I just have to go to jail?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
No, ma'am. I had no.
Play silly games, you win silly prizes, sir. Have a good day.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Judge, can I say one more thing, please?
Hey, Lieutenant Davis, this is Officer 4. Be ready for me, 335.
Ma'am, is there anything?
Okay.
Here, give you some.
Yes, I know. Now what we're supposed to do with you
Yes, ma'am, please. I have family, my kids going to school. I got so much going on, ma'am.
By myself with all these kids, like, come on now, 30 days. Like,
Judge, please, is there anything I can do? Judge, is there anything I can do? Can I talk to the judge one more time, please, before I go?
no, she's done for today.
Done for today? 30 days, though? What crime did I do?
She is punishing you, man.
Give me them socks back, cause I'm about to be in here.
I'm about to go to jail.
This case shows the dangers of following pseudo-legal myths over real law. Roman Brown's refusal to accept basic traffic rules cost him his freedom. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.